I come here most days, I'm trying to every day, and I take a photo and I do a short clip of pond life and upload them to my YouTube channel. You may have seen them already. And those photos and those clips over time will show how this pond changes or doesn't change. Who knows? I imagine in different seasons it will change in its own ways, dramatically or slightly, or certain parts of it will be dramatic change and others not so much. I'm doing it every day, and I've done it I think since January, maybe not every day, but now February the 11th, definitely February I've done it every day. And if I go back over those pictures, there's not much change apart from 1 or 2 days where there was snow, or the remnants of the snow. But over time, if I do this for a year, as much as I can every day if possible, or as often as possible, when I look back from the January to the December, there will be major differences throughout that year. And it's exactly the same with us as people. We may not notice change today from yesterday, whether it's in our bodies, our minds, or our activities, or who we are. But over the space of a year, there'll be major change. I like to look at that, not necessarily from January to December, but from birthday to birthday. I don't necessarily do the external changes, although I imagine there's a point I might start as I'm approaching 50. But I look at my activities, my habits, who I am, what I'm doing, what's my routine in the day, how am I changing. At the moment, maybe matching the season, there's a slowness. There's lots of things that I stopped doing at the end of the year just to renew before I started 2024. I think that's really good to end a year properly. And I saw it out and I cancelled all the podcasts I normally subscribe to, and I thought I'll start afresh, change my routine up. I come do this walk as much as I can around 9 o'clock in the morning, sometimes earlier, sometimes a bit later. I don't do this exactly the same route, but there are similarities. This is a major similarity. Sometimes I come here immediately, sometimes I go to another part of the park and do something there. But imagine those changes that we'll see, not just in the photos but in the clips. The noises in the background. For now, a child has fallen off his bike and he's learning to ride, so he's needing some care and attention in the background. But it's interesting watching these, and I hope I get to keep all of them throughout the year and reflect on them and see those changes happen. I'll certainly be reflecting on me. I've been really reflective at the moment, so I come up to 50 in April. So I've reflected on not just the past year, but all the years that have led me, all the experiences that have led me to 50. Really enjoying making the most of everyone. And I hope as I get older, 60s and 70s, hopefully 80s, 90s, I'll do exactly the same. I'll be grateful for who I am, how I am, and the things that I can do. It's too often we focus on what we can't do. It's a shame, isn't it? It's natural, completely natural. But if we focus on what we could do, and maybe what we can do better with age, as opposed to what age stops us from doing. And my dad turned 80 at the end of the year, so maybe I'm also more reflective because of his age and how he's changing and how he's viewing it, which is a bit negatively at the moment. He does have a negative mindset, so it's understandable that this would also be negative. But I'm very, very lucky in the fact that my nan reached 95. She died in 6 months short of, or 4 months short of her 96th birthday. She's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, very sharp, very active until the point where she could no longer be. But a wonderful, wonderful mindset that I hope that I will have, and I imagine I have inherited it. This in itself is positive. going to photograph the same place every day and wanting to see change, wanting to see how it changes in every way rather than being scared of change. It's hugely positive. It's also a good routine to have. You have a focus for the day, you know what you're doing. I get myself up and I get myself out, and even if I have no idea about the rest of the day, I come on a walk and I come and take the same photo. It's really good to have a focus. It doesn't have to be the same one every day. There's parts that change for me, but I have this one part that I try and do, even if I'm not on the walk in the park, I'm walking through to work in the library or something. I stop and I take this photo and make sure it's on my route. And I can't wait to see the changes. So rather than a silent reflective for you guys to see the pond life, this is a talk through it of just explaining why I'm doing it and encourage people to do the same with themselves. You know, how have you changed over the past year, or the past few months in your habits? You know, not to focus on the external, not to look for the extra wrinkles or the grey hairs or whatever else, but focus inside. There's so many changes I've gone through these past few months that I'm really pleased with. Some not so much, but a lot very, very positive. So I'll leave you with this picture of pond life, this short clip without any speaking.